Hi, this is Jithesh Sathyan, WhatsApp number +919656611829. This is a follow-up talk on the response given to the query on the five functions performed by Goddess Lalitha in Panchapredasana. So, in the earlier talk on the topic, rather than directly mentioning each of the five functions, what I tried to do was explain the five functions in an individual context and then extend it to the goddess so that it will be easier to relate when it can be directly mapped to the individual. However, based on later queries I received, seems like the topic was not clear. Hence, adding one more audio with few more examples, as it is a very fundamental concept to be well understood. So, going with the earlier example, so when your car is hit, the emotion generated in you is different from what it generates in your child, which is different from what it generates in your aunt. The reason is because when you buy a car, you create the object my car in your world. Then you maintain the car. When you sell it to someone, the my car is destroyed. The real car is not destroyed. So there is a my car that was created, a my car that was maintained, and my car that got destroyed. So the car getting hit event is the same. But my car, my dad, my nephew's car. So my car, my dad's car, my nephew's car. That's what brings the difference in reaction of happiness or sorrow or any other emotion. The real car was already in the showroom before you created my car by buying it. Assuming you did not buy this car, then when this car gets hit, you will not feel upset at all, as my car is not hit. So it is not the real object, the real car or person like your friend who is wife to someone and mother to someone else. So it's not the real object or the person that matters, but how you perceive them in your world that matters. So, two key points to note here. Point one, there is a real world with objects and people, and a my world that you create. Point two, the my world is experientially real, as all the emotion it brings in you is very much real. Okay. Now another example. Let us say a marriage event is happening, and the bride's brother and sister-in-law who are abroad had an accident, and even one of them died, and news of the same has not reached the bride's father. So everyone is very happy and dancing at the event. Now the phone comes, and the bride's father is informed about the death of their daughter-in-law, which happened few hours back. So the daughter-in-law's parents, who were dancing minutes back, is now crying. Now the phone comes again with a correction that the person that died is the son and the daughter-in-law is safe. Now the bride's parents start crying and the daughter-in-law's parents are feeling better because their daughter is safe. Three important points to note here. So, adding to our earlier 2 points, point number three, the real world, people, and events is never the cause of sorrow. The parents of bride were dancing before the phone call, even though their son was dead. So the event of death had happened in real world, but it created emotions only when your virtual experiential my world got impacted. Point 4. In my world, you create, destroy, and recreate without it matching any way with what is happening in the real world. Like for the example that we mentioned, in the mind of the daughter in law's parents, their daughter abroad was my daughter. So their daughter, my daughter created when she was born, My daughter was in sustenance while she was abroad, and my daughter died when news of her death arrived. And my daughter was again recreated when another call came with the correction. All this not correlating with what was happening in the real world. Point 5. It is not the real people, real object, or real event that is the cause of happiness or sorrow. It is how you perceive it in your virtual, my world, that makes the difference. So let's summarize it into three key areas. So there is an understanding that my world is not real world. Second one, real world is never the cause of sorrow. 3. Ananda or happiness is always in you. It is not dependent on any object, person, or event. These three fundamental concepts should solidify in your mind with Shravana, Manana, and Nidhyasana. This is what scriptures mention about awakening to a new world, or seeing Prakriti and appreciating it the way it is. And that Ananda is always in you and not dependent on external objects. Seeing Prakriti differently, as written in scriptures, does not mean the external world or Bhakya Pravanja will look different. Unlike written by some modern authors on their enlightened state, like feeling of objects merging with them or some other experience, which are all momentary. The external Bhakya Pravanja remains the way Mother Nature wants it. How you perceive it changes based on your spiritual maturity. If your vasanas are not changing, then you are not making spiritual progress. Overcoming the limitations of my world, of likes, dislikes, and perceptions, or at least understanding it to a level where you can control the mind to not get affected by it, is an important step for progress in spirituality. Only when my world is under check, mind stabilizes for focus during sadhana. In my future talks, also request not to just leave things after Shravana or listening. Also do some Manana and Nitidhyasana so that the concept is crystallized and helps in spiritual progress. Thanks for listening.